Hi everyone, Caro here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to this daily tarot reading for the 9th and the 10th of December. Today I'm going to explore some deeply rooted issues in relationships and connections with the symbolic cards. I'm going to try to find the inner dynamic that has been playing out now for this 2 day. Maybe it's going to be more impactful. So what would the symbolic card says, and depending on the cards here we gonna find, I'm going to add other layers to it, and this is going to make me to determine what decks I will be using to explore the energy further when it comes to relationship connections. And let's see now. So for the 9th and the 10th of December. Okay, so we have the fall. This is the fall. Okay, so this one is, you can actually think about like to say the king is naked, to call out, to say that the king is naked, and so there is an element today which is going to make something fall from its place as well. Okay, this is, I just want actually gave example of how it may feel like, because someone's ego or their way of seeing themselves is too much inflicted with ego, I think. So that's why the jester here, the jester is dethroning the king. And the jester is also here sitting in its place. So there is some type of a mask, some kind of a ego mask, or that outer persona of someone or something. It can be that we also too attached to, for instance, may likely to break into pieces. So here then there is a situation or event in which we can witness someone is also like being dethroned from also their, let's say, soft spot. And in the end, like, this person is likely to understand in what type of actually a setting they have been in all this time, and it can relate to a higher authority here. You may be also facing with a high authority, or what has been like this big thing, for instance, where no one is like touching, speaking about it. This is likely to crack open also in relationships as well. So it's like to leave behind that royalty, and the task here is actually to find also the fool within, so that a new beginning can be. Also, it's maybe the idea, we can say that, to liberate yourself from something. And as you discover that inner, like the tarot's the fool, divine child, you are going to embrace another role, because someone's identification with the king or the queen is being diminished. And with this experience, actually the fool, that who can point out, can say the king is naked, becomes more prominent. So in a way, this is unlocking some kind of I think self-discovery in that manner. Plus, what it can create in the relationships, this can also create things that we think very best working in our relationships, or let's say they got traditionalized. Now, actually getting this inspiration and uncertainty, there is a new road here emerging. You may like come together with people who are also looking for different things, wanna try new things, or you may find a new way of like relating, or an alternative way of relating with someone or something. Also, maybe this is happening, and in a way that it is showing us, relationship-wise, people can really leave a lot of things behind when it comes to attitude towards relating, their past. They like rebel from something, and they gratify towards things which feels like more, let's say, excited. Okay, so we may find ourselves in this type of setups, or people from this type of past maybe is coming towards us, or you are one of them. This is also about embracing spontaneity in the relationships, making what has been like deeply rooted there and not functioning, or just functioning as an idea but no practicality, is now like being removed, like it's dethroned. So as these things now like changing, some excitement maybe happens. Yeah, we can find new versions of it. Now I want to get some cards. Who or what you want to dethrone today? Because there is this unsettling at first bringing of change. Someone is or something will challenge you, or you will challenge them. Also, there is this non-traditional, unconventional idea of relating. One person also like triggering the other person to explore their individuality, going out of more of like a group or ego mentality. It's really challenges. It really challenges here, so it can be quite interesting. But I think on this day, one person is awakening to their intuition and sensitivity. The other person, as they see that this change in the other, they actually they need to encourage others' independence, because one person is finding that electric spontaneous quality. This can be also something in the sexual level. Something feels exciting, inspiring, but other person having a hard time, I think, to maybe give this freedom or encourage them, you know, to be themselves, to have like new interests, hobbies, or doing things like more spontaneous. Because, you know, Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles with the Lovers, something has been conflicting, suffocating, and always required a balancing act. But now this balance cannot be kept. Something needs to change here. Sudden beginnings, sudden endings in the relationships. Non-traditional partnerships on this day. People who are like living in long distances, maintaining long distance relationships, extramarital affairs, other different types of affairs will likely to be challenged. Okay, traditional setups will be also challenged with this energy. You see, the Fool is in the end giving a mirror to the King. What is that long setting will feel like off center. So this is to make someone to expand. Okay, so here actually the idea is it's like a minor tower moment, let's say. Okay, the idea is like a minor tower moment. It's not going to challenge the environment. It is just the challenge people like in the needs and personality wise. With this then changing horizon and perspective on this day, and with this particular intuitive and sensual and sensitive awakening, a person reevaluates their relationship. That can be a twin flame connection as well. Maybe they are understanding what relationships needs to be actually, rather than being stuck in a particular direction. And we have also the wolf energy here, which is like a more lone wolf. At first one person like distancing themselves because, let's say, they are not in the throne anymore, and they see how a particular dynamic played out with mind games and control, and this is not now, can't balance anything out. People really need to awaken a deeper quality within themselves. They need to leave games and things and, you know, other type of toxic behavior, and under these connections one can, I think, reevaluate their relationship, to be present. A lot of things will change. Or a person is like suddenly, for instance, back because they have seen they have been in a situation, they have seen like the other side of the world almost, you know. someone is like getting ready for someone. It can be, but this is happening because it's all shaken from the ground. We have the moon. This is 5 of Wands. The burning desire. Burning desire. Okay, there is a lot of intuitive understanding around our relationships, I do feel. With the Queen of Swords energy, there is going to be a lot of people like mentally, you know, intellect-wise challenging also each other, like some ideas here also get clashing, because they want to provide some kind of a maybe deeper meaning to their relationship, to their connection. What has been like not fully known or acknowledged, the moon, or what has been like haven't been understood, these things needs to be explored, and it's going to be like in a conflicting nature explored. And the person has this need to explore their own emotions. They need to find clarity, Queen of Swords, against the confusion. That's why the energy is so much challenging, to the point that it may dethrone us. Only after that, some second chances can be given, some meetups can be arranged, some extension in the connections can be found. The underlying anxiety, the underlying control, the underlying games, the underlying, you know, everything. One needs to also trust their intuition, inner wisdom, to navigate this. At some point, when you put yourself to distance, like this Queen of Swords, a bit taking your viewpoint away, you know, to observe, one is actually cutting through all the confusion and illusion that the moon card can create it. And a person may really see things as they are, like saying the king is naked. This foundation is not functioning. This particular pattern is not working anymore. Clear communication, honest communication is pretty much very necessary. Some straightforward points can be acknowledged. Some quick decisions can be brought. It's very important to really stay true to ourselves. It's very important to maintain clear boundaries here. Okay? It's important to, how do they say, to be willing to listen the other person. And one can listen the other from those like, how do they say, clear boundaries, okay? Boundaries are not about the other person. Boundaries are about you, okay? It's about reclaiming yourself. And boundaries on this day, when we have so much going on, they are not punishment or actually control. They are the things which is going to eliminate the mind games and the control. Boundaries on this day will be for communicating your needs, your expectations to others, and also respecting your own needs and well-being as much as other people's. Don't forget, on this day, you have the right to set boundaries with anyone, including also family and friends. This can be, because it can be influencing situation to your relationships. And please don't forget that boundaries are not selfish. When a person reacts to your boundary, okay, like for instance saying you, hey, I am not trying to get out of something from you, you know, why you are acting like that. They are unaware that this is actually nothing to do about them. This thing actually about you, how you can protect your energy, your groundedness, how you want to charge yourself, how this is also important and essential for your mental and emotional health. But unfortunately, when you state a boundary, a lot of people just misunderstand. It's like you do it like something personally and they go away, which means that, emotionally healthy people will stay and respect those boundaries. And they will communicate from that point. Really, having healthy boundaries, you're gonna feel really happy and fulfilled. On this day, because we have also the Five of Pentacles energy here. This is to me a bit saying like no to something, because it's going to take from your energy, like consume you. So it is okay to say no today. You don't have to say yes to everything that is asked from you. It is perfectly acceptable to say to a particular request that you do not have time for, okay, or you do not want to. Please remember on this day, with also this the full Sun and Uranus opposition, you are not responsible for other people's feelings, okay? Plus, when you set a boundary, it's important to remember that you are not responsible for how other people also react, okay? You cannot control their thoughts or feelings, but you can communicate your things. It's on them how they will take it, or that, or you know, this is very important. Again, Sun Uranus opposition, it's okay to change your mind, okay? You are not obligated to stick to a boundary if it's no longer also working for you. You can make adjustments in your boundaries. And it is important to be assertive when you also bring a boundary, okay? Because it can be violated, and most people do not understand that. They think it's very personal. Actually, that has nothing to do with them. It's very important, really truly important, my friends. Communicate your needs and expectations very clearly and directly. We have the Queen of Swords here, okay? And it's okay if you can't just set a boundary, because it takes practice. It may really take some time to learn how to set and enforce those boundaries effectively. Don't get discouraged, okay? Don't get discouraged. Just keep practicing. There is really a mean person living in my apartment, and she's coming from a bit interesting background. She feels very entitled for the responsibility of the place we are living in. She's living in the first floor of my apartment. She feels like super entitled with everything, having a hand on everything when it comes to the you know, situations with apartment. It's always like they think that they own this place, this apartment, and it's like others cannot state anything or acknowledge anything, their views or their thoughts about what they want for the apartment. So in the last months, I have put a boundary towards this person. And the way she reacts is totally toxic to it, but I continue to enforce that boundary. Well, it really takes time for her to understand that, because I don't want to be talked by someone who feels like entitled for everything, and they can also think things for me in a place where I have to acknowledge my needs and living conditions, right, for the apartment. They really take from your voice. When you acknowledge a need with the apartment, there is always a problem. It cannot be done, it cannot be, you know, brought, it cannot be arranged. It's a lie. It's just they don't bother. They want things to go in their own way. This is really an unfair situation for people who are also living in these flats, you know. Things are very interesting with people, so you need to, of course, with your dynamic, you may need to make arrangements. Also, in the conditions when you have a limited time and energy, it is also important to set those boundaries. Not because you are against that person. You may actually so much love them and you may so much care about them, but you may have this particular special conditions when it comes to preserve your energy. When you sometimes actually communicate that, some people really react to it, but actually this has nothing to do about them. This has to do with you and how you can function as a person. So I invite everyone to think about the boundaries, okay? It is a very important subject, and most of us coming from you know, old generation parents have been brought, have been raised with no specific lesson or, you know, about boundaries. And how actually we have been violated when we were like a child, teenager, growing up, young woman, young man, you know, when we were growing up. It comes down to how it is important to protect your mental health at the end of the day and energy. It's very important, okay? Think things a bit in that sense. In my personal relationships, when a person communicates to me their boundary, I am like 100% respect to that, and I do so much, you know, I find it very good, very good, very good, absolutely. You know, it is a really major attitude. Practice it. It's by time, okay? We haven't just raised from our mothers and fathers knowing everything about relational and things like that. But practice it, okay? So, of course, I cannot even tell about how these things happen among family members and relatives, extended relatives and families, you know. People even like have this, find the right to say how much you eat, and oh, are you gonna finish that plate, you know, oh, you're gonna get so much, you know, weight and things. And people actually who doesn't know you, who but your relative, right, they have this find some type of again another entitlement to pass some judgment about your eating habits, for instance. It is, these things are very it can be very hurtful for people who may have go through an illness, sickness, you know, a particular maybe eating disability. It can be these things needs to be really rethought in our times. Otherwise, you know, where is like the kindness of living and really like being thoughtful? These are very important, of course, in our daily lives, in our interactions. It's very important to think about this way. Well, by the way, I have released All Signs Matters of the Heart reading for December 2023. I hope you enjoyed it. I find now a better also internet possibility with the live readings, because I directly air it from my phone's internet. So I'm very happy. The connections get better with the phone adjustments. So I hope you enjoy December's Matters of the Heart. And okay, so this is what I have for you today. I hope you find this reading insightful. I like bringing any type of topic with our also today's understanding of relationships and dynamics. Obviously we are not living 50 years ago. I have to also mention about this to you, with also aligning with the reading itself. I hope you enjoy it and find it insightful. I hope you learn something or that you haven't heard for a while, or have that now a new vision around relationships and connections. Thank you so much, my friends. Take good care. So this is Puppy. He today this little fox here in the hibernation period, like in the winter sleep. This is Puppy. He's Hermit's, my other cat's Buro. So today he accompanied me for the readings. This foxy cat I have, but if you ask me, he is just one this little lion, really. Thank you so much, my friends. Take good care and speak to you soon. Bye bye.